We're glad to have you here in Sarasota. Talk a little bit about the Men of Alpha, Manly Deeds, Scholarship, and Love for All Mankind, and how we're so special, and we've been around since 1906.
So proud to be a past national president of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, the fraternity of Dr. King. We've been in existence since 1906. Manly Deeds, Scholarship, and Love for All Mankind. It was our motto, and how wonderful it is to be here tonight as we celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Now, there's a beautiful monument in Washington, D.C. Talk a little bit about that, and again, why it's so special. And you're talking about a gentleman who looked at the content of character.
So proud that Alpha Phi Alpha conceived the idea that we ought to have a national memorial in Washington, D.C. in honor of Dr. King. And the idea was brought forth, and we were able to garner support from the President, Clinton, and other presidents, members of Congress, Senate, business leaders from across the country, and just everybody who's just a regular person to donate their nickel, dimes, and quarters to build what we now know as a national memorial in honor of Dr. King, which sits on the tidal basin between the Jefferson and Lincoln Memorial.
Scholarships. Alpha men are some of the leaders of this nation. We are leaders. Just talk a little bit about scholarship, and guys are, the cream of the crop, so to speak.
Well, what we do like about Alpha Phi Alpha is that it encourages young minds and young men to become leaders. It encourages them to go to college, finish high school and go to college. It encourages them to be leaders. Some of the great Alpha men includes Thurgood Marshall, Martin Luther King, and the list goes on and on many members of Congress. The current chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Stephen Hortzman, is an Alpha man. Senator Raphael Warnock, an Alpha man. One of the past senators, Edward Brooke, from times past, an Alpha man. How proud we are that we encourage leadership at all levels of corporations, politics, business, and also at our HBCUs as well.
A voteless people is a hopeless people. Talk about the concept of voting and why that's always important in a democracy.
We just feel the four themes of the memorial happen to be democracy, justice, hope, and love. Where would we be without democracy? Where would we be without the right to vote? Where would we be without the right to express ourselves by voting? Alpha Phi Alpha encourages people, and has been for the past 55, 60 years, voteless people as a hopeless people, to encourage people to go to the polls and vote. As we have just seen in this election, every vote counts and every vote matters at all levels, not just at the congressional level, not just at the U.S. Senate, the president's level, but at all levels of government. We encourage people to take part in their civic duty to vote.
Ithaca, New York, State Street. How important were those gentlemen at Cornell, our 7 jewels, when they decided it was time for a fraternity, and we've been rolling ever since?
Well, I think it's important to understand when Alpha Phi Alpha was founded, it was Jim Crow. When Alpha Phi Alpha was founded, it was the turn of the century. So to have men at Cornell University in Ithaca, New York was unheard of. They came up that way by way of the Underground Railroad. But then in looking at the other fraternities and sororities, decided that it was time to have an African-American fraternity, and so be it. Alpha Phi Alpha was founded, and Alpha Phi Alpha helped encourage others to found the other 8 Greek letter organizations, including fraternities and sororities. And what makes it so beautiful is that we all get along and we do things for the betterment of society.
What was it like to be named president of our fraternity, and you will be a president with us forever?
It's a high honor to have been the general president, as we call them, of Alpha Phi Alpha. You're responsible for every Alpha man across the world, over 700 chapters, carrying out the programs and the aims of Alpha Phi Alpha, and actually coming up with new ideas. It was encouraging when I became the president of Alpha Phi Alpha. My theme was to do economic development. And then a thing got in the way called the Martin Luther King Memorial, and I had to put my efforts toward raising the money and building the National Memorial in honor of Dr. King.
To be here in Sarasota and to provide a keynote speech and to interact with the people here, how special is it?
It's just special to see all the folks here, all walks of life. We talked about fraternities, sororities, all members of every fraternity and sorority are here, all professional men and women are here to see them, interact with them, and understand that you all are carrying out the works and dreams of Dr. King here on the coast of Florida.
In closing, are there any final comments you want to make as we think about Alpha, the men of Alpha, and the tremendous work, and just being here tonight? Any final comments?
I would just simply say that Alpha Phi Alpha likes to dream big. I encourage all who are listening to have dreams so big that they scare you. But dream, because dreams are what makes us think about the future and carry out the future for our family, our friends, and our children.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.